Good evening. Good evening and a warm welcome to all the webinar participants. We are very excited to have this presentation, share this presentation with you today and launch officially our competition for a smart breakfast. In today's webinar, we've planned three things for you. One, for those of you who are not aware about TDU, a short introduction. And then we thought it would be good for students to have some preview on what is innovation, because this competition is all about trying to be very creative. However, creativity when it comes to industry, when it comes to making a product that is scalable, can be quite different from the creativity that you and I exhibit while making a cup of masala tea. So we've invited our dear colleague, Dr. Swati Palagiri, to come and talk to us about what is innovation. And then finally, my colleague Sonia will talk to you about the Smart Breakfast Hackathon, who can participate, what the logistics, and of course, the prices for this game. TDU, along with Good Food India, is now for the second year running a meeting called Smart Protein Forum. Now, you might wonder what is smart about proteins. I mean, after all, they are biomolecules, and by design, all biomolecules are smart. I will leave that tantalizing question for you, as Sonia will talk about what are smart proteins. But this is a very unique type of meeting. Unlike academic conferences where you will normally meet scientists and other peer groups from academic institutions, here is a meeting that brings together stakeholders from a variety of different fields, all to discuss protein. So you will have nutritionists and dietitians talking about it from a dietetic point of view. You will have FMCG companies who want to innovate in the space of protein products. We will have students who will come and present their work and talk about their research in the area of proteins. And we will have a host of startups who are interested in utilizing biomanufacturing as a tool to improve our protein consumer options. We had a similar meeting last year, and we had about 800 people participate. We run these meetings in a hybrid mode, both virtual as well as in person. If you're in Bangalore, we strongly encourage you to come and spend the 2 days with us in TDU campus. If not, you can also join us online. For those of you on today's meeting who are not aware about the Transdisciplinary University, we are a very unique space situated in North Bangalore. And our mission is to advance public health. And we do that by contemporizing medical knowledge systems that are indigenous to our country. We believe that in order to revitalize India's medical heritage, we need both the information from the past as well as the tools of the present. And we are very interested to see how these combinations can be used for the betterment of mankind. We are a small private university. Although we are a private university, we don't have the typical programs that you would expect. We have very niche programs. And this hackathon is being brought to you by a program that is sponsored by the Rural India Supporting Trust, titled as Food Futures Program. We offer quite a few unique courses as part of this program at the bachelor's level, at the master's level, as well as online. Please do check out these courses on our website. I think in one way, I can certainly attest to how different we are is because we believe that things have to be experiential. And as you will see, even in this competition, we want to empower people to find solutions that will suit their ecosystem and their needs. Now, the Smart Protein Forum, like I told you, is going to bring together different types of people who will be motivated in different way. There will certainly be academics like me. There are going to be consumers who are just interested in new and different protein products. There will be people from industry who are looking at making products with smart proteins, and a whole host of startups who are interested in biomanufacturing, right? But we felt connecting all of these are students like you. For you represent to us the future of what could be food for health and wellness in the coming generations, right? In the coming years, sorry. So we thought that we must motivate students to also start participating in the conversation. And we are doing that through a series of competitions as part of this forum. And these competitions, there are quite a few of them, and they are distributed according to your capability. We have an online competition like the hackathon that we're going to talk about today. We have some hybrid competitions and we have some in-person competitions. So as far as the hybrid competitions are concerned, for those of you who are doing anything in the area of proteins, there is a thesis in 3, which is you describe your thesis in 3 minutes. There are poster presentations for which we would be happy to welcome you to TDU. And finally, there's also a smart protein debate competition, right? And these are all tied in with the idea of what is smart proteins and how we can leverage uh, biology and technology for food innovation. That was a little brief about TDU. Now, we hear this word innovation bandied about, and you will see this even in our hackathon competition. But what really is innovation? And for that, I would like to invite my colleague, Swati, to come and speak to us about innovation, for she has a lot of experience working in the FMCG industry, looking at innovation. Now, although she's written here, it's plant-based beverages, I would like to say that being in industry, Swati has had a flavor of doing, managing many different types of products and trying to understand whether it's really an innovation or not. And by substantiating that innovation, right? Because it's not just enough to have an idea, it is also important to know if that idea is going to work, is it feasible, if it is falls into the legal ambit, etc. Right? So we're very lucky that she's working here with us. And now I would like to hand it over to Swati to take us through a short session on what is innovation. Over to you, Swati.
Thanks, Megha. And hello, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here and talk to you about innovation. I will share my slides and I'll begin my presentation. Just give me a moment. Sorry. Megha, let me know if you can see the screen, the slides.
Yeah, we can see the slides.
Okay. And yeah, as I said, thanks for the introduction, Megha. My name is Swati Balagiri, and then I worked in an FMCG industry for a quite long time. It's 17 years. And what I've learned was a great deal about innovations, because the big companies, the FMCG companies in the space innovate continuously. And innovation is the important, pillar for the organization. If the companies fail to innovate, if they do not connect with the consumers, the companies do not make profits, the companies do not sustain for a longer time. I will give you some of the examples of that. And through this module, what I wanted to do is to inspire you for the hackathon. Like, how do you get ideas? How do you innovate? How do you protect your ideas? And how do you claim your ideas? How do you communicate your ideas? So that's the purpose of my talk today. And this is about innovations that's going to shape tomorrow. And at TDU, we believe that, we believe in the food first solution, which has 3 dimensions. And those 3 dimensions, we think it impacts the human, societal, and the planetary health. With that, I will begin. So the content, as I said, it is you're going to know, a little bit about what is innovation. What's the difference between creativity, invention, and innovation? What is the need of innovation in the first place? Why do we need to innovate? Some of the case studies so that you can kind of connect with your thinking, and how do you protect these innovations, and how do you communicate these innovations? So what is an innovation? As per the dictionary, it's a noun and it's the introduction of something new. It could be a new idea, it could be a method or a device. So it's the process of creating a new idea, a product or a service or a method that delivers significant improvements or solve existing problems. So that's how you begin with. So innovations are something which are new, but then you get inspiration from the existing things. It could be a problem, it could be a need, it could be connecting things. So if you hear from many of these big innovators, who have revolutionized the industries as such, like Elon Musk, he says innovation comes from questioning the way things have been done before. So what is about questioning? What inspired Elon Musk? When the whole world was thinking the automation industry is running on a combustible gas, and they thought electrical vehicles is impossible, that is the time Elon Musk questioned, like, why not the electrical vehicles? Why not, moving towards a sustainable environment? And that is what we've seen with Tesla. And about his SpaceX company, he questioned about why can't we reuse the rockets? The rockets were always thought to be a single use, and it can incur some billions of dollars for the space industries. So his Falcon rockets are reusable. They vertically land, and it's opened up new possibilities for commercializing the space explorations. That was the thinking of Elon Musk. Bill Gates says innovation is the reason our society is where it is today. Without innovation, we would not be as advanced as we are. His the thinking of why can't computers be personalized, his creation of MS-DOS in the beginning, individuals having their own computer systems to work on, revolutionized the entire software industry. And his philanthropic work, which he's doing in terms of vaccines or disease eradication or sanitization, many innovations in that field has changed the society, change the thinking of the humanity. Coming to Steve Jobs again, he says innovation comes from connecting the dots in a ways that others do not see. He has revolutionized the smartphone industry. He says when the normal people, see chaos, the innovators see the patterns. So the connecting dots come from there. If you remember his Think Different campaign, you could see that his ideas coming alive through that. In terms of his products like iPhones, Macs, the iClouds, he has completely revolutionized the industry. Sheryl Sandberg, again, she's the CEO of Facebook. She says, what drives innovation is asking the right questions and pushing through the failures. So she, at Facebook, she completely revolutionized the strategy of not just sticking to the social networking. She said it can be expanded to connectivity, global connectivity, virtual reality, marketing, advertising. So she used the Facebook platform for all the other different strategies, asking the right questions and embracing the failures as well. Mark Zuckerberg, the biggest risk is not taking any risk. In a world that is challenging really quickly, the only strategy that is guaranteed to fail is not taking risk. So he started with Facebook, but he did not stop with Facebook. He started acquisitions. He started WhatsApp, Instagram. So he took those risks. Until these innovators take risks, they would not be able to revolutionize the whole industry. These are the big people. And, everybody is an innovator. What we need to see is, where are these ideas coming from? How do we expand it? Can we Can we look at the possibilities and combine these different areas and innovate an idea? So that is what all the big innovators, the famous innovators have done. For example, innovation is creativity and commercialization. If you come, the story of Thomas Alva Edison, he created the incandescent light bulb. He wanted to revolutionize the whole electricity. He felt that, the gas lamps are dangerous, not safe and not sustainable. And he started innovating the light bulb. Okay, the journey of innovation of a modern electric bulb. Now, from a carbon filament, it has moved to a tungsten filament, to an incandescent, the fluorescent, now the CFLs and the LEDs. It's a whole lot of journey, and these are like innovations. So these innovations are adding improvements over the existing ones, from the idea of the fire, which kind of gives the light around us, to the gas lamps, to the bulbs. So it completely revolutionized the electrical industry. So innovations happen when someone improves on or make a significant contribution to something that has been invented. So that was one of the examples. And if you have to take an example of who's everybody's familiar with is the iPod. How did that come into existence? That is something like converting this knowledge into wealth. iPod made millions of rupees even to this day. So the inspiration has come from an MP3 format, which was developed by Fraunhofer Institute in Germany. MP3 is nothing but it's a condensed or a compressed format of audio files, and it occupies less storage. It was very important at that time when computers had very less storage and the transfer was very difficult. That has completely changed the thinking about creating these formats at that time. And Steve Jobs was very quick in adapting that, and using the technology for Apple and iPod. He created iPod using the MP3 format. Now see where it is. So that's the innovation, which could also create a lot of wealth for the companies. So let's try to understand innovation a little bit in a different way. So how does it start? The creativity. See, the act of turning new and imaginative ideas into a reality. So being very creative. Invention, creation of a new idea or a concept. Innovation is turning a new concept into a commercial success or a widespread use. So creativity is about creating these novel ideas, which nobody would have thought about, or it was not existing otherwise. So these are ideas, and the thinking is new. So when it comes to invention, it's about creating something new. It requires certain amount of cash or your efforts to convert that into an idea. And you need a little bit of primary skills, maybe a better understanding of the subject. And innovation is making the invention into a product form. As Megha was talking about, she kind of mentioned, we may have a lot of ideas, but then how do we convert those ideas into products which consumers appreciate? It gives convenience to the consumers. So, and all these ideas have a significant value and generate a lot of cash. That's innovation. And based on and it also needs, broad set of not just the technical skills or the scientific skills, you need the marketing or the strategic skills. A very small example of a 9th century, an idea which has kind of is now $1 billion industry. It's a coffee industry. So in 9th century, there is a goat herd. He's an Ethiopian called Kaldi. He noticed that his goats started jumping more energetically when having chewed some red berries from a bush. So he has taken them for herding, and then the goats found some berries and started eating and started being very, very active, kind of hyperactive. Then he took these red berries to a monk, and the monk has put it in the water and boiled and made a brew, and he started consuming. And what he observed is that he used to stay for a longer hours during his prayer. And that's how from Ethiopia the coffee has traveled to Arabia, and from Arabia to Europe. So it's kind of an idea. It's an observation which led to an idea, and then there were a lot of inventions. Look at the coffee processing industry. Every equipment of roasting coffees, everything is an invention. Okay, and that invention has led to so many innovations in coffee. Now look at coffee. Coffee is it has a big portfolio into hot coffees, the cold brew coffees, creating the espresso machines, the pods. And till now, from 19th century to the 21st century, there's still many innovations that's happening in the coffee industry. So that's an example of it. And why do we need innovation? In a complex and dynamic world, innovation it's not a choice, it's a necessity. Because when you look at the challenges which we are facing around, some of these global challenges of uh, you know the sustainable energy and the health technologies, there are so many of them which are surrounded the climate change, all of them are very challenging for us. The innovations are required to bring new ideas which could actually solve these problems. Improving the quality of life, need many health-based technologies. Economic growth, we need a lot of jobs around. Sustainability and environmental protection, reducing carbon emissions, creating products for consumers, which gives that convenience, and they need to be happy with what they are eating in terms of health and impact on the environment. Adapting to the technological change, the AI, the information industry, responding to the crisis like pandemics, any of the disease related ones, and how do we connect globally to solve these problems together. So there are many problems or issues or challenges which we have in our day-to-day lives, and the innovations become very important. So one of the case study which I wanted to give you today, because the hackathon is on the breakfast, and I wanted all of you to think in terms of what can you create with these smart proteins. So I wanted to give an example of an innovation very recently, which has completely changed the way, moms make breakfast, the convenience it has brought to the table. And I would like to think about how you can include these smart protein ideas into your breakfast, in the everyday breakfast, because breakfast is an occasion which you can innovate many things, because people, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. It has to be nutritious. A lot of people do not have time, considering the hustle bustle of the life, and having a nutritious breakfast is very important. There are so many gaps in terms of convenience, giving nutritious breakfast. So if you look at, even if you talk to your mom, sit with her and then say, she will come up with so many challenges of preparing a breakfast for the whole family. So I thought, this would be kind of a relevant one for you to kind of relate with your ideas. So uh, this was founded by PC Mustafa and his cousins in a very small kitchen. They saw the effort of making these batter and preparing dosas, and it's it's not too stable for a long while. It has to be prepared fresh, and they have come up with this idea of preparing the batter, and what they have nailed down is the scale. Because this can be prepared at home, but it requires certain equipment. And what they've nailed is as I said, the scale of preparing it in a larger quantities and distributing. So they have a lot of core products. Their core product was idli dosa batter, and which was a hit in South India, and it's now becoming bigger hit in North India and abroad as well. The Malabar parotas, squeeze and fry vada batter, whole wheat chapatis, and more. Um, they did not confine themselves with just the idli batter success, but they have expanded their innovations to many more, the breakfast items. And they gave a promise to the customers saying that, we will be very consistent with taste and quality, convenience and availability, and no added chemicals. So it will be no preservatives and stabilizers. So that's the believability the consumers had on ID breakfast, because, it's very difficult to change the mindset of the consumers. Now, the question for you also is like, when you add these smart proteins in the breakfast, what is the consumer reactions? What do they think about it? Think about all of these questions, and have a customer promise that This would be similar to your breakfast. It's going to be nutritious. It's not going to be having any kind of added chemicals. So that's the consumer believability which we need to develop for the products. And Mustafa, not just on the product, he had extended his innovations to manufacturing, logistics, even to HR practices and marketing innovations. So manufacturing, he has adopted a mustard paste machine and for making this high volume batter. And he had a very great transportation idea that the fermentation happens during the transport. So the batter is ground at the location, and to the location where it has to be sent, the vehicle is going to transport it to there. The next day when it reaches, it ferments. So you know uh, saving a lot of time, and also making the process very efficient. What he also did was to enhance the loyalty of his own customers. He employed the people he employed are the delivery boys. He did not give it to a third party or the vendors. So the people who are working for ID are are his own employees. And he made a lot of these marketing innovations during COVID. He has put in unmanned trust shops where customers can take the product and then they can deposit the money. So, there was nobody to monitor whether people were actually, putting the money and then taking the product. So that was the trust he wanted to, develop with the customers. So all this had led to a great brand, which kind of brought in a lot of convenience for, working moms, otherwise as well, for the Gen Zs, even for the millennials, for example. So what the CMO of ID Fresh says, innovation by definition implies something done for the first time. Brands that innovate gain a psychological edge in the consumer's mind. So this is again very important. Somebody who innovates for the first time, they always have this edge. If you remember, we always say, we do not say toothpaste, right? We say Colgate, because Colgate was the first paste. And Surf has ingrained into the brains of so many consumers. We do not say it's a washing powder. We always say Surf. Also the Xerox machine is it's a copy machine. And Xerox is the company name, but it is the first company to have developed this machine for copying, and we say it's Xerox machine. So that's what happens with the consumers when they see the product for the first times. There, they become very loyal to the product or the brand. The second example is MTR. They're again a marketing marvels. They identified that there are a lot many gaps in the market. For example, the ready-to-eat meals. So always, in the again, as I said, in the hustle and bustle everyday routine, it becomes very, very difficult for people to have to make fresh during the travels, because during the travel it's very difficult to carry the breakfast or the food items, and the ready to eat meals are like a revolution in itself. They have stabilized their innovation is stabilizing the product, and also creating lot many flavors which are very localized, um, you know making idlis for the South Indians, or making the paratas for the North Indians. They try to nail all the, you know, um, they try to customize it for its consumers, and their customer promises that commitment to quality again, and they promise freshness and homemade taste, a focus on convenience with a wide range of affordable products. Then their products are very affordable. That's the promise they made for the consumers. And their innovations are, including the low unit packages like the 2 rupees or the 5 rupees or the 10 rupee packets, for which any range of consumers, at any economic level can buy them. And also the family size packs for larger servings. And they have this technology, which is a freeze drying technology to preserve flavors and nutrition, because their promise was to make it fresh and it has to be like a homemade taste. And they also launched a web portal to reduce distribution costs and enhance product affordability. So the companies like this innovate not just on the product, but they look at holistically as well. As I said, innovations are very important, and companies need to continuously innovate themselves. Now, another interesting thing is that, of course, you will have ideas, you have these innovations. Then how do you protect it? Because, anybody can copy it. Your idea can float around and somebody can make a lot of money. The companies can, the companies have this ability to convert these ideas into product. So what do you do in such cases? So there is something called the intellectual property. What is intellectual property? The intellectual property refers to the creation of mind, like these ideas, including inventions. It could be literary, it could be artistic works, designs, symbols, names, and images used in commerce. And there are different types of IPs. It could be patents, it could be copyrights, it could be trademarks or trade secrets. So patent, for example, that the simple electrical bulb made by Thomas Alva Edison, he patented it. The design was a patent. The copyrights are usually the original works. It could be a movie, a film, or musicals, or literature, or any audio recordings, the comics, the strips. So those all come under the copyright. Trademarks are the symbols, the brands, the logos. Trade secrets, the Coca-Cola recipe, the KFC recipes. So not many companies do not want to reveal, uh, their success, though. So they actually make a trade secrets. So these are like different types of intellectual property rights. So what is patent? A patent is a legal right granted by a government to an inventor, providing exclusive rights to make, use, sell, or distribute an invention for a specified period. Usually the patents are for 20 years. For example, if you take an example of Fair and Lovely, it's a cream, and it had lot many patents, and it had a monopoly for 20 years. Once the 20 years passed, there are so many other companies started coming into fairness brands. Like Unilever was the first one to introduce Fair and Lovely, and after the expiry of the patents, companies like Imami, had come in with many more variants, not just for women but also for men, with Ayurvedic herbs, many more variations, and they kept inventing it. Well, and what is the importance of IP? IP always encourages innovations. It provides creators and inventors with the motivation to innovate by ensuring they can profit from their work. And of course, these all contribute to economic growth by fostering the entrepreneurships and creating jobs. So these ideas which are protected, can help grow businesses and creating more jobs. It also helps the businesses to maintain their brand identity and reputations. Um, this is one example of Apple versus Android wars. There's a huge lot of, war of patents happen between Apple and the Android, between Google. Um, so Apple Apple said Android has infringed a lot of their patents. They copied their designs. That is why patents become very important. Patents kind of protect your creations of mind, and you can easily make a lawsuit. And Apple won many of the lawsuits. But the interesting thing about Android and Apple is that even with all these wars on patents and infringing their own softwares, they started revolutionizing the entire smartphone industry, and they kept innovating and they kept growing. So if you look at both of them, they grow. Even though the philosophy of Apple is very closed and premium, Android is more open and flexible. Both of them are ruling the entire world with their innovations. So that's a healthy competition. So, and the third one which I wanted to introduce to you is, how do you communicate these innovations? You have great ideas, you make certain benefits out of it. So how do you kind of communicate these ideas? So it's mostly on These are called the claims which you put it on the pack. So what are product claims? It could be product claims, it could be service claims. I'm giving you an example of product claim because, we were thinking of making a product, a breakfast product. So what are product claims? Product claims are specific assertions made by a company about the characteristics, the benefits, and the performance of the product. And they are often used in marketing and packaging to inform consumers. So it's an information which you're giving it to the consumers. So if you look at this packet, which is an MTR packet, it says, clearly communicates that it's a 3-minute breakfast. It says, no cooking, just add hot water. It's instructing, it's also giving instructions. It is also saying, if you look at the pack at the bottom, it says, it has these unique claims saying that it's no added preservatives, source of protein, source of dietary fiber, and sorry, I could not see it, trans fat free. So these are the claims which are making. So when you look at the product and read, this also gives you information. The consumers will immediately connect to it. It influences the purchase power. There are so many claims you can make it. Functional claims, okay. It could be nutritional claims. It could be quality claims. It could be safety claims. So you need to think about what is your product, what is the benefit it is serving. So based on that, you can have different claims on the packet. So what is the importance and regulation of these claims? Consumer trust. You win the consumer confidence and the brand loyalty. Competitive advantage. If you are an entrepreneur, if you are a company, you can differentiate your product in a crowded market and attract your target audience. Marketing strategy. It claims serve as a key component in advertising and promotional campaigns and always influencing purchasing decisions. So when we hear the advertisement, when it says something which we are really looking for, it kind of influences our purchasing decisions. So claims are very powerful, way of communicating these innovations. So these are 3 things which I wanted to touch upon. What are innovations? How do we protect the innovations? And how do we communicate about the innovations? So with that, I wanted to give you a small tip for your hackathon. Einstein says, if I had only 1 hour to save the world, I would spend 55 minutes defining the problem and only 5 minutes finding the solution. I think I would urge all of you to kind of see what exactly is the problem around, what is the gap in the market about breakfast cereals. What is the opportunity? What are the challenges? Is it convenience? Is it nutrition? What are the existing problems? Define your problem very clearly, and I'm sure your ideas will just flow. So we can't wait to see great ideas coming to life. And thank you so much. And we would like to see you all at the Smart Protein Forum on 17th and 18th October at TDO. Thank you so much.
Lovely. Thanks for setting the stage, Swati. I think the ID batter was a fabulous introduction to the breakfast space. So before we move on to the next part, are there any questions for Swati on innovation? And she's very well placed to help you sound out any ideas that you may already have for this hackathon. You can please unmute and ask your question. Okay, I think participants are still thinking about those 55 minutes of defining the problem. All right. In the next segment of this particular talk, I will now invite my colleague, Sonia, to discuss the logistics of the hackathon that we have for you.
So good evening, everyone. So now we learned about what is innovation and what are the different types of innovation. How do we do it? How can we save it? So now comes the challenge. So what is a smart protein, right? Smart protein is also known as an alternative protein. It's basically a high protein food product. And the most important thing is it is very sustainable. It is a substitute for meat, eggs, dairy products, and seafood. We have a lot of different types of smart protein. Some of the examples are the plant-based ingredients, which includes the pea protein, soy protein, lentils, etc. Then you have the cultivated animal cells. So this is again, it's a lab-grown meat. It is taken from the animal cells and grown in the lab. So we try to avoid the animal farming in this case. Then you have the insects. So there are few insect protein, so that is edible, like for example cricket flour, mealworm, and other different types of insect proteins. Then you have your fermented proteins. So here you have the examples of the tempeh and certain probiotic foods which is rich in protein. So these are some of the examples of smart protein, right? So why are we talking about the smart protein, right? What is the motivation behind it? We all know that our Indian diets are basically, consisting of carbohydrate rich foods, right? And few of the studies have also found that the protein content in our commonly, eaten breakfast, for example, poha, idli, dosa, parantha, all of these are very low in protein. So, the recommended protein allowance for a breakfast would be around 11 to 17, but these options are actually falling below that. So here comes the motivation for you to involve the protein in your breakfast. We know that prolonged protein deficiency can actually result in muscle loss, weakness, and slower metabolism. And protein deficiency is one of the major cause here, as a malnutrition, which is our India is facing. So how can you tackle this challenge? And also that due to the lack of awareness, poor eating habits, and changes in the lifestyle, we are having a protein deficient condition. So how can you actually tackle this situation? Right? So this is a big challenge for you all. And the eligibility for the Smart Breakfast Protein Hackathon is all of the students, any student, any from any kind of a field of study, that is UG, BG, or PhD. Any student who's currently registered in a university or an institute can enroll in this competition. So these are the different categories of smart breakfast, that is product designing. So under product designing, you can actually design a product. It could be a granola bar, or it could be a simple poha or a idli, but you need to use the smart proteins in that and make it look, very affordable and very convenient. Then you have the process innovation. Here you can actually change the process of the food product. Like for example, you can actually make an idli to a cupcake, which is very easy to just eat it in a second. Or you can make the idli in like ready to eat product, so that it's very easy and convenient for somebody to make it. Right? These are some of the examples. Then you have SciComm. So what is SciComm? That's basically a science communication method. Here you can use your like the reels, or you can use comic strip and try to create an awareness about how you can include the smart protein in the breakfast, so that it is very attractive for the young youth. So this is one of the example for that, right? So these are the three categories, and you can choose any of this one category among them and register for our competition. So first thing, you'll have to register your interest. All of you have done this. Then read up about the smart protein, what are smart proteins, and what are the different types, how do you make it, etc. So second is that. Third is download the PPT template. So the template we will be sending to all of our registered participants. You can download that, and you can get ready with your submission. Then you will have to upload your PPT through the submission link, which all of these will be sent to you after this meeting in an email, right? And the deadline for the submission is 9th October, Wednesday. So you have almost like 10 days to create your PPT and create a product. So the jury for this competition are going to be from the academic background, food industry background, and few of them are from the culinary science background as well. The prizes are, we have top entry for each of these categories. Like each of the category will have the first prize winner. So we have rupees 5,000 as the gift, the cash prize. Plus, you have an internship worth rupees 10,000 at TDO. So you can come here and have an internship program done with us. Prizes are going to be announced on Friday, that is 18th October, which is our protein summit, which is happening at TDU. It will be announced in the program itself. And to tell you again, deadline is going to be 9th October, which is in Wednesday. So here I'm going to show you what is a template. Anyway, the template will be sent to you on an email, but still I would just like to tell you what are the instructions. So kindly keep the maximum slide limit up to 4 only. That includes your title slide. Any of the additional slides are going to be deleted. So please make sure that you have only 4 slides. Try to avoid paragraphs and try to make your ideas in such a way that, there is not much of a text and it is in a diagram or an infographic or a flow chart or picture format. Keep your explanation very precise and easy to understand. Your ideas should be very unique and novel. You can use this template which is provided to you and try to include them in the pointers. Try to follow the pointers and have your idea being done in the template. Save this template in the PDF with the label as your first name, then your last name, and save it as a PDF and upload it to the link which we provided to you. It has to be only in the PDF format. There's no PPT, Word doc, or any other format will be supported. In case you have any queries regarding any of these instructions provided, please contact us at wellness@tdu.edu.in. So we are available on the email. You can please contact us with your queries. We'll be ready to respond. So this is going to be your first slide. You will write your name, the degree name. So whether you are a bachelor's in food science or a master's in food science, etc. Then you will put in if you are a UG student, PG student, or a PhD student, and comma if you're in first year, second year, or third year. College, your university, you can just put down your university name. Title of the idea, what is the product's name, right? So that is going to be the title. So this is going to be your first slide. The second slide is going to be the category. So any of the categories, whatever you have chosen, you just have to mention that with whether it's a product or a process or a SciComm. And then you will briefly describe your idea in the format of a picture, or it could be a flow chart or, a graphic format, any of these, but try to avoid a lot of text. So this is going to be a second slide. Third slide, you'll have to mention the nutritional information. Try to highlight the key nutritional values that includes the protein content, calories, fat, vitamins, etc. And also you need to mention the source of protein that you've used and its benefits. Then you have your fourth slide, that is the justification slide. So why is your idea actually smart? Try to use this space and mention here that why do you think your idea is unique or innovative, and how does it contribute to an enhanced protein consumption for the breakfast? So this is going to be your last slide. So do you have any questions regarding the template or any logistics related to this hackathon? Please, you can unmute and speak now.
You can also use the chat box, students. You can use any one of these methods. So Alicia has a question. In the 3 topics, we can only focus on one. It really depends on your time. We are happy to get 3 submissions from you, for one each for each category, but multiple submissions within the same category will not be acceptable. Nitya, thank you for this question on millets for smart protein. So as you will see, the definition of a smart protein is that it is processed in some way. So when we talk about millets, if you have a nice idea on how to extract proteins from millets and then use them in a product, I would consider that a fair utilization. So certainly, millets can be included, and maybe you can think of it also in terms of process also, right? But we are looking at innovative means in which we capture proteins from all the currently available sources, or perhaps even making our new proteins using 3D printing. Siddharth Sid, I think, as a question, how do I submit the SciCop? Please just copy paste your comic strip into the PPT itself. Alicia is asking if we can submit in a different template. Let us be clear, there is only one template. You can use that 3 times to submit for 3 different categories, but only one submission per category per person. Also, this is a small competition, so we are not allowing group submissions, only individual submissions are allowed. Swati, would you like to talk about some of the criteria that our judges would be using to identify the prize winner?
Sure. Thanks, Megha. So I think as the template says, we will look at the innovation, your original idea. So how innovative are you thinking, and what exactly is the benefit you are targeting, the impact of your innovation, especially in terms of health, because we're talking about breakfast health. It could be human health, or it could be the societal health, and as well as the planetary health in terms of sustainability. So you can think about of all of these um, um, all these points when you are creating your idea. So that would be one of the things which we would definitely look at. Of course, how well you are communicating, your flow of thought, your clarity of thought. That becomes very important for the judges to understand how you can convert your ideas into products. So the clarity, your originality of your idea, the clarity in thought process, and how easy or convenient is your idea implementable. If you wanted to kind of implement these thoughts into convert them into real ideas. So how the easy of implementation. And fourth would be the impact it's going to make, as I said, about all the 3 dimensions of health, or the human health, the societal health, and the planetary health. I think these would be some of the things which we would be looking at as judges to shortlist the ideas.
Yes, impact, very much. Why is your idea great, and how it can we are looking at significant changes, isn't it? We're not simply adding more urad dals to idli to make it more smart protein. We are thinking of how to maybe take out more protein out of existing sources, and maybe making a chutney with lots of protein that goes along with that. Okay, there are some more questions. Did I answer that millet question? Okay, Swati.
Perfect. As long as it can be a source of protein, millets can be used. So that's where the process innovation comes into picture.
Right. So Dr. Maithili has a question. When you innovate on a traditional recipe, will it be product or process? It really depends finally what you're doing. So I think it can come under both categories, right? A process would be perhaps a fermentation or maturation or extraction. Whereas for product, I'm thinking, let me add XYZ powders and see what I can come up with that is tasty and savory. So I think both innovations can be possible. It really depends on your idea. Thank you, Vaishak. Yes, you've raised a very good point. How do I put a reel in a PPT? What we'd like you to do is just grab a screenshot of your reel and put it in the PPT, and then just send us an email saying you want to submit a reel, and we'll keep that separately. So obviously it will not go into the PPT, and thank you so much for bringing that point up. But please do put a picture of, take a screenshot of your reel and just put it in so that we can match the reel to your final output. No, no, Sid, you do not have to make the product. You have to imagine the product, right? And although I think sometimes in food, it is easier to imagine the product if you have actually made it, but you don't have to make the product. Actually, Sonia, there's something I would like you to address, right? I think a lot of people will not have an idea of what is 11 to 13 grams of protein. So can you help them visualize that?
Yeah. So 11 to 17 grams is what is recommended. So that would account for, if I would say in an idli format, almost like 6 idlis. So 6 idlis is equal to 12 to 13 grams of protein. So yeah. But
So the
anyway,
challenge is if I want to eat only 2 idlis.
yeah, exactly. That's the challenge.
How much paneer would that be, Sonia? 13
Paneer,
grams?
yes, paneer 100 gram is 6 grams. So that will be around 200 grams. 200 to 250 would give you around 11 to 15 grams of protein.
Yes, yes, yes. So I think this is why we're saying that, eating 200 grams of paneer is going to be very difficult for you. But what if you had a soy isolate or a pea isolate, which is almost, between 85 to 90% protein, right? So now suddenly you can eat a smaller amount, but you can increase your nutrient intake. And that is one of the motivations for this competition. And we are also, this competition is for young people because we think that young people need to make good food choices and they also have to be tasty, affordable, and convenient. So that is why this challenge. We imagine that many of you are running around trying to catch a bus, trying to learn for an exam at the last minute, busy texting your girlfriend. So you don't have time to eat breakfast. So that's why we said we have made this challenge about 2 things, which is getting more protein in less volume, and 2, doing it for breakfast. Okay, thank you so much. Anything to add, Swati, Sonia?
That's all from my side. I think, all the best for all the participants, and we look forward for all your ideas.
Yes, and we will be updating our blog soon with the names of the jury members as well. And we are excited about announcing these prizes on the valedictory ceremony slot on 18th October, Friday. Right.
There's a question from Sonika. Should it have a small process to make? Sonika, would you elaborate what do you mean by small process to make? Okay, should it have a small process to make preparing a breakfast? Maybe in terms of the time, are you asking, like, should it be like an instant one? I mean, it's up to you to, let the creativity flow. So think about it, and
Yeah.
you can use all these elements.
It can be a Tetra pack so that it's just ready to eat. It can be something that you put in the microwave, again, instantaneous. It can be a soup that you just add hot water to, for example, or a dehydrated chutney that you just add water to and then it just flops up, like sabja bija. So use your imagination. The idea is that since, you don't have to make the product and you don't have to taste the product, you can have fun. Right. Thank you all for these lovely questions. And we are very much looking forward to your entries. We've had about, I think about 100 people sign up, and we would love to have more people sign up to share this with your friends. And please, we are very excited to hand out these prizes. Please do come with your ideas. And if you're in Bangalore, join us at TDU on 17th and 18th October. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.